Microphone is on. Hi guys, I'm Marley Silva and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is nice, hot, warm coffee. Woo! It is January 9th, 2024 at 10:09 in the morning. I literally just woke up. I woke up at 8. I slept in because I have today off. My hair looks interesting. But yeah, so I slept in till 8 because I had obviously today and tomorrow off. And I literally just woke up and I was thinking to myself, I was like, I want to film a video today, but I don't know when. And then I was like, why not just freshen up, wash your face, pour some coffee. The sun is out, which is surprising. The windows are literally like frozen solid, like it's -20 right now. -20. Yeah, no, I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and film a video when I'm having my coffee. Last night I went to Caitlin's and we watched the Hunger Games with my brother, and she made chicken Caesar wraps. And we watched the Hunger Games, and I wanted to do a video today on community or connection, community and connection. Yeah, because I feel like the Hunger Games was about community and connection, and I think that this obviously, like my day today, could correlate with that as well. But so nice. But you know, community and connection are like major, and that's just something that like I've been thinking about, and now I want to sit and film and chat about it. You know, the movie last night, it wasn't everything I expected. Like I would have kind of expected a little bit more from like a movie that's going to be trumping 3 separate movies. I don't think that they put nearly as much effort into it that could have been done. Like they could have easily made it like amazing, but like the tunnels and like the weird camera angles just seem like really low budget, or really maybe like poorly directed, poorly envisioned. I liked the storyline. Like I'm not gonna lie, I liked the storyline a lot. They did try to make it like a little 𝘃𝑫𝘄 and like put like overly shove in your face diversity, which can be really, really annoying sometimes, because like you just want to watch a movie and you're like it's like shoved in your face, like diversity. I don't know. I feel like that a lot in life lately. Like when I was a kid, no one gave a shit, and then now that I'm like almost 30, it's like you're not allowed to have a movie that isn't like hitting every mark with like characters that you could assume. But anyway, beyond my critiques, I did like the storyline. I did think it was a decent movie for the most part, but it really kind of put into play because there was a certain time at the end of COVID, and maybe even kind of right now to a certain extent, where it was like a TikTok trend where people were basically saying like the elitists and like the richest 1% treats all of there's not really a middle class anymore, so treats the poor people basically like a game and a joke, right? Like, you know, people talk about like, oh, we're gonna go hunt, we're gonna go throw them at like it was like a thing where they hunt people in the forest, and it's like a game because they're so rich and bored that they just like need to have that like extra whatever in their life. But yeah, it was a whole deal, and I don't know, it's just like a lot to think about. But you know, watching the more the more dramatic events that you could pull and to try to pull donations from these rich people that are just watching you guys like suffer is like, it's sick and twisted, and it does shed light on reality to a certain extent, because, you know, and that kind of ties into like this morning where I was like on TikTok, and so many people are talking about the exact same thing. Unaffordability, you know, it's just a whole thing. Like there's a whole kaleidoscope of issues, and then there's like the 10-year-old Sephora girls that are like trending right now, which that really just comes down to parenting, because if you're giving your kids that much money to spend at Sephora, clearly money's not an issue, it's parenting. So that is literally a whole other video. But I don't know, it's just interesting. Like I saw a TikTok and he's like, oh, so if like a minimum wage worker makes $15 an hour and a bag of chips is $5, like he was literally looking and he was like, I couldn't find a bag of chips that wasn't $5. Like every single bag of chips started at $5 for a bag of chips that are literally filled this much, and then the rest is filled with air. We all know how that's going nowadays. But yeah, so I just, like, I saw that TikTok and he was like basically saying like, oh, so you think that this employee's life, like an hour of their life, is worth 3 bags of chips, when like literally they make that much money. Like they make like I think they make like, what is it, $500 an hour or something. Like they make like basically you should be paid based on your profitability. And if you're making the company a lot of money and you're really doing your job well and selling things and making them money on the products that they're selling, if they're not paying you adequately, then the only thing that you can say to that is abuse or neglect. Like that's the only thing. And just a whole TikTok like that, and it made me think about connection, and it made me think about togetherness, because not everyone has the same pros and cons in life. Some people have higher things in certain areas. Some people have other amazing things in other areas. For me, connection is something that I've always been really lucky with, and it's a blessing because, you know, I called my dad this morning and I was like, hey, like, is it normal to like be really, really happy and independent living on my own, but then thinking this much about like how I can't spend money, and like I have to like for me to live in my apartment, I have to work half a month. Like it takes half a month to pay my rent. And I love doing that, and I love having my own space and having my own life. It gets to be a little daunting because it makes you think like, how I could do so much more with that money. You know, like if I were to move home, yes, I'd be with family, but like family isn't always the worst thing. Like I would love to live with my family. In the summer, me and my brother bike 30 kilometers a day. I'd be living with him. So I'd be like, we could just go, we could plan things, we could do meals. And, you know, now that I'm seeing things from a different perspective, and, you know, just realizing a lot of things going into my late 20s, it makes you think like I could literally not have to be stressed about money anymore. If I lose my job, it would suck, but it wouldn't fucking cripple me. And, you know, like I could save so much more money. I could put so much more money away, actually think about that kind of thing. You know, I'd be with family, I'd be connected, and like community is so real. And the reason why in this day and age, you know, we're so hyper aware and hyper aware really is because of social media, is because everybody has a phone, everybody can connect to the internet and communicate. Hey, are you facing this issue? What's life like for you over there? What's things like this? And when you connect like that, you realize how we're all struggling, we're all suffering, we're all in the same boat together. And it's only a very small select few that don't have the same issues as everyday people. And obviously there's privilege in different aspects of life. You know, I'm lucky to have like a community and connection. Some other people have financial abundance and privilege, and some people have career privilege, right? Like they do something they love. It doesn't feel like work. They run their own business. So everyone has different chunks of life where they're excelling in, and you know, that weigh out the others. But that doesn't take into account all of the people that are doing really, really well, but don't focus on their mental or spiritual health, right? Like, you know, so there's so many different aspects to life, and none of us are created really equal, you know? Like we all share in the same issues and problems and tribulations and life correlations that bring us together, but we're also multifaceted and different, and life isn't created equal, right? Like, you know, unless you're a 6'4" fit man, like you're never going to compare to a 5'0" girl. Like it's just not created equal, you know? And people are scared to acknowledge that nowadays. It's almost bad to talk about differences. It's bad to label things. It's bad to have common sense. It's bad to say yes and no and have standards. It's bad to say, hey, I don't like that. I'm not comfortable with that. Like nowadays, people want, especially in Canada with the way our country's run, which is like a complete mess, it's almost shunned upon if you're not hyper, can I say liberal, hyper liberal? Like if you're not hyper liberal and you don't love everyone, and oh my gosh, like I just think that that's so great. Like if you're just not that kind of person and you actually like have quirks and critiques, and you're an individual person and you have likes and dislikes, and you have grown into a place where you're comfortable with those, right? Like when I was a people pleaser, I used to literally be like trying to be a 𝘋𝘪𝘢𝘳𝘺. I tried to get every little crumb of what people liked and become that model of a person. And I realized, like, holy shit, I am such an empty person. Like I just was like, what? So now that I've refined, that's the perfect word. Now that I'm 27 and my tastes are refined, and I know what I like, I know what I don't like, I know what I'll tolerate, I know what I won't tolerate, I know what I'm open to doing, what I'm not open to doing, or what I'm curious into trying. Now that I've refined my personality and who I am as a person, going into my 30s and the next chapter of my life doesn't feel so scary. And like, I don't know why there's such a stigma on, if you were to move back home, you're seen as like less valuable or less something. I don't know what the word could be, because you're not on your own and da-da-da. But I'll tell you, from someone that lives alone, does everything on their own, has no help, has their own place, has their own life, has their own car, has their own job. You know, yes, to the male gaze on a date, it could be extremely attractive to sit in front of a woman that is so independent and so self-serving. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean the positive version of self-serving. Takes care of herself, has boundaries, has standards, you know, has refined herself as a woman. Yes, 100% as a man, that is so attractive, 1,000%. But then I think to myself, it's like, why am I constantly doing all of this to appease like a man's opinion or attention? You know, like I, of course, want to do it for me too, but I feel like there's such a stigma or it's almost like demoralizing to like move back home and have family time and, you know, save money and all of that kind of thing. It's almost looked at as like less independence, less respect, almost less of a woman, you know. And there's so much pressure on women nowadays to be hyper successful and hyper independent, and that's a whole other thing. Like women literally fought for women's rights, and now some women are like, we don't. Why? Like now we're at a place where we're so hyper focused and educated and independent that we don't even need men anymore. And you know, that this video has become such a huge can of worms. But for me as a person, like I do need a man for certain things. I do appreciate a man's touch. I do appreciate the place a man holds in my life, or that can hold in my life. Because yes, there are certain things that men can do that I can't, or I don't want to do, or that he would love doing that I would hate doing, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with that. But on the other token, like, there's some men that are like, I want to make your life easier. It makes me happy to make sure that you're taken care of, whether that be financially or in every aspect of life, right? So totally, totally, totally being able to have a healthy balance for sure. But I don't know. It like, it's a lot, I guess. Like, I know maybe right now I feel this way because it's -20 and I live in an 80s, 90s apartment, and the windows literally let in all the cold. Like, it's freezing in here. And I just think, like, rent goes up every year. Like, it's just becoming harder and harder. And like, if I'm already in a place where I'm penny pinching and like really, really, really being responsible, no debt, and I'm budgeting month per month with everything, if it's not getting easier, it's getting harder. And if I'm already struggling to save money or to keep any money in my pocket, and that's only getting worse, like, I'm working to live. I'm working to live. I'm working to have a place to go to. I'm working to make sure that my taxes are paid. I'm working, like, life's gone at that point. Like, and I get it. If I were to work and live at home, hell yeah, I would be working, and all of my independence may or may not be gone. But I'd also be saving a lot more money. But then it comes into play of like, what is money, right? But at the end of the day, money is extremely important. It's important to have a savings. It's important to acknowledge the role money plays in life and how important it is to have a certain standard of living and to be able to uphold that. But when it gets to a point where like you're sacrificing your quality of life just to be able to say that you live alone and you do everything alone, it can get really like overwhelming. And it can kind of keep you trapped a little bit because, like, I would love to travel. I would love to own a home one day. I would love to have a savings. I'd love to maybe get a new car. Like, there's just certain things where it's like, I would love a lot of these things, but at the end of the day, I'm happy with what I have. Like, my car's not the best, but it gets me to point A and point B, and I love it. So more money, more problems. Even if I were to have more money, if I got a car, I'd be out all that money, so it's different tiers of thinking. And I think that's why a baseline of appreciation and gratefulness is so important, because it makes whatever decision you decide to take that much more thought out and thoughtful, intentional. That's the word. And I'm happy. Like, I'll probably do like maybe another year and see how that goes. 'Cause it's only been, when did he leave? April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. It's been 10 months. So I guess technically has been a year. It's been the longest year of my life. But yeah, it makes you think, like I can only speak for my own experience, but in 2024, we're getting 4 separate hikes on, I think it's like either carbon tax or certain taxes alone. And I just think back to like before COVID and how much my place costed and how life was then, and looking back to now. And it's wild. Like, the prices of things are insane, and it's not, it doesn't make any sense, to be honest. I don't really know who's affording life right now. I don't know who's like living their best life right now, unless you're like really focused with your community. Like if you have help from family and friends, that kind of thing, and then you're able to have a beautiful life, I can totally see that being feasible. But like on your own, by yourself, no help from anyone, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like 20 years ago, I could have probably had a job, paid for everything alone. I work in tech, so I make really good money. I could have been like traveling and like balling out. Probably could have bought a new car, that kind of thing. But fast forward 20 years, like if you're a single female living alone with no help and you pay everything by yourself, even with a good paying job, it's like a lot. Like being a girl is like a lot of money to maintain. Like people don't like to talk about maintenance as a woman, but it's a thing. It's a thing. Like especially, someone that fits the standard of like long hair, smooth skin, like that doesn't just happen. Like it takes a lot of work and effort to be someone that you love, in my opinion. So, yeah, I don't know. It's so layered, but I think greed has definitely gotten the best of some people. And, that goes back. Oh, there's a bird. You guys, I don't think you know how cold it is here. It's -20. And within a week, it went from like tolerable to like deep freeze. So like when I was at work yesterday, I saw a pigeon walking across the thing, and I'm just like, how is this buddy here? Like, how is this dude walking on the pavement right now? And it's so sunny, and both my screen doors are frozen shut, and it's just sunny and icy and cold, but anyway, sidetracked. Little things in life, right? Humble, back to reality. Touch grass. But yeah, greed has definitely got the best of some people, and that goes back to touching on how some have more in some areas than others. And a lot of people are accumulating wealth, collecting wealth, topping up their wealth, and emotionally and connectively in their own respect, whether it be with themselves or with themselves really, or spiritually, that kind of thing, psychologically, emotionally. There's a lot of like, I guess, neglect, because in order to have everything like top tier in every area of your life, you have to be consciously making an effort to keep everything at the same level, which isn't impossible, but it's not easy. Like it's hard, So a lot of self-awareness and a lot of grit, that's for sure. I don't know. I always go back to thinking like, how far I've come over the years, and how well I'm doing compared to myself in years past. And then I think to myself, like, is it bad for wanting more? Like, is it bad for asking for help, wanting community, wanting to be able to enjoy the quality of my life, right? Like the quality of my life is beautiful right now, but I don't have a cent. Like I pay everything on time. I work full time. I do everything that I'm supposed to do. And when it comes down to like me, there's never enough for me, And I keep thinking like, how many years do I want to live like this? Like how many years do I want to live like this? Like I don't have all the time in the world to just throw out to going back to school, working full time, my hobbies and interests, working out, being an actual well-rounded human being. It's just not possible. And especially when you're focused on affordability constantly, getting a higher paying job isn't going to fix all my problems, right? Like I know people that make more money than I do, and they're still at the exact same place. So it almost makes me think like dramatic shifts have to take place. Like if I were to move home, I would be saving $1,215. Add my hydro, call it 100. Add my internet, 120. Add my phone bill, 100. Phone bill you can't change, so we'll take the phone bill off. Just those 3 or 4, I don't remember. Rent, hydro, internet. What's the other one? We'll call miscellaneous, because there's random bills that creep up every now and again. I would save all of that money, you know, and that would be life-changing, because I'm obviously not going to be spending that much money a month. So you can see how much you could possibly save just by asking for help. But with that, I would lose everything I've worked so hard to build and everything that shaped me. It's so layered. But, you know, I don't think that housing should cost half a month's work. Like, there's no balance in rent anymore. There's no, when I first got this place, it was $1,049. And that was when I was 21, $1,049. And now it's $1,215. And it's been, we'll say the full year, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. We'll say 6.5 years. 6.5 years it's gone up. Let's do my calculator. Oops. $166. That might be proportional to, that might be accurate, I guess. But when you think of like my raises and my wage since 21, doesn't compare. It doesn't, there's no, yeah, it doesn't match at all. It may look like it does, because it's like, wow, you make that much an hour. But then you look at the cost of inflation, and bag of chips, you guys, is $5, $6. Blueberries, $7, $8, $9. For the little square, it used to be 2 or 3. Sometimes, yeah, like 2 or 3. When you look at life around you and everything, like if I had a car, like if I had, you know, if I was paying off my car, I'd be fucked. If I didn't have help with groceries, fucked. Laundry, fucked. Like, it's just like, if I didn't have help with certain areas of my life, I'd be fucked. And I'm fucked even with the help I have. And that's what's making me think, like, I know this video is about connection and community, but this all correlates and ties together with my chapter and my experience within my connectivity in the world around me and with family and friends and my bubble. But when's enough enough? Like, I've proved myself to myself already. I know I work hard. I know I'm independent. I know I'm ambitious. I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm creative. I know I have such an intelligent mind, and I'm so well spoken. I know these things. I don't need to prove them anymore. I don't need to prove that I'm worth it anymore. And I'm at a place in my life right now, today, January 9th, where I feel like the only reason I'm paying this much per month is to prove that I'm an asset to society, to prove that I'm an independent female, to prove that I can hold my own. But when does proving it become enough? I want to live. I want to enjoy my life. I want to save money. I want to be able to like I just want to be able to like do something for fucking me for once, you know? Like, and it's so ass backwards, because you think like, Marley, you're doing stuff for yourself, you're paying your rent, you're doing everything. But like, I want to save money. I want to be able to breathe. I want to be able to be like, oh, $400 on, God, you guys, I don't know. Like, Amazon, right? Say you got to re-up on some stuff and it's a little bit more expensive. Like, I want to be able to do that without thinking like, okay, well, I can't spend money for 2 months. Okay. And then if I do this, like, you know, I want to be able to like breathe. And I'm lucky. I don't have any debt. I'm not on the street. I'm not homeless. I'm not a drug addict. Like, I don't have any health problems. Like, I'm lucky, but you know, it's not bad to want more for yourself. It's not bad to know your worth and to know that you are maybe moving into a different chapter. And yeah, I think that that's kind of how I'm feeling today. You know, a lot of my videos this month, oh my God, my leg's asleep. A lot of my videos this month were focused on how happy I am to be doing it and to how happy I am to be independent. And yeah, this is a chapter I love. Also, you guys, I'm wearing a crop top. I'm 140. I've lost so much weight. Like, she's showing off the midriff again, you guys. Obsessed. I love this chapter for me. But yeah, a lot of my videos have been really proud of myself, and I genuinely am. But I know that in order to do a down payment for a house or to really be selfish with my money and actually be fucking selfish and know what I deserve and want, I might have to give up renting. I might have to give up my place and actually just move home and have family time and, you know, be with the people that I love and actually save that money. And everything in life is a sacrifice, right? I sacrifice saving to be independent. I sacrifice being independent to save. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's a decision I'm going to have to make and I'm thinking about constantly. And I think today's video is a good place to start, for sure. All right, you guys, my coffee is done. My leg is literally asleep to the point where I can't move it without it hurting. I'm going to end this video diary for today. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching my 9th video diary entry. I'll see you guys tomorrow for my next entry. I love you so much. Bye, guys.